Joining me now is one of the newer members of the Bareknuckle Fighting Championship roster. We got former UFC title challenger John Dodson joining us from the park today. John, how are you doing, my man?
Man, I'm doing awesome. I'm having a good time and enjoying the day. Like, it's nice and beautiful and sunny out here, and gotta take it when I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And talk to me about that introduction I just gave you. You know, when Bareknuckle came out, started to kind of make a splash in the the MMA crossover world. Did you think that you would eventually be on the roster? Was it something that's interested you since it emerged, so to speak?
Well, it's definitely one of the things that interests me because of the fact that I can go ahead and do the boxing aspect of it, but also I can go ahead and tie clinch you and clinch you up and be able to keep a hold of you and dirty box the hell out of you. Like, it's just gonna be nothing but fisticuffs with me tie clinching you.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a good fit too. Obviously, they seem to compensate the fighters pretty well. So I guess, talk to me about from the last time fans saw you in the UFC till now. I mean, you fought a couple times for MMA. You seem to be taking on some tough challenges there. Ultimately, what was the decision to pivot to Bareknuckle? Was it just a great offer? Was it a new experience? Was it all of the above? Can you just
All of
kind
the
of
above.
explain that?
Like, definitely, it's going to be all of the above. It's a great opportunity for me to go ahead and showcase everybody, and not only showcase, but to remind them that I'm still one of the most deadliest strikers out there. And if I can keep on knocking people out, I can be picked up by any organization. I still want to be bouncing around back and forth, and bare knuckle is going to give me the opportunity to go ahead and knock out as many flyweights as possible. And that's what I want to do. I want to go back down to flyweight and show everybody that I still reign supreme and the king of that division.
Yeah, was that part of the was it difficult, I guess, in your free agency after the UFC because of the weight class thing? Like, obviously Bellator doesn't have flyweights, there's other promotions that don't. So do you feel like your options were maybe a little bit, more difficult to kind of find the right one for you, so to speak?
Well, I didn't want to go cut to flyweight for no reason.
Yeah.
If I wasn't going to sit there be getting paid like pretty much dollars instead of or nickels to dollars, I'd rather be sitting there making whatever weight class that's going to come for me. Like, going down to flyweight, I want to be able to showcase my true abilities and be able to go hurt as many people as possible, and I want it to make it worth my while.
Yeah, and do you feel like it was almost a gift and a curse? Like, I feel like it's tough for a guy like you maybe coming into the free agency market because everybody knows how good you are. Everybody knows what you should be paid. But then when there's a division, like your best division isn't there and just the options on the table, I mean, do you feel like that almost you were too good for free agency, so to speak?
You know what? I can't even sit there and say that, because if I was too good for free agency, everybody should have been picking me up. Like, if that was the case, I should have gone to Risen or whatever other organization that were willing to go ahead and compensate me the way they wanted to. Like, Bellator does do flyweight, but I know they don't have a flyweight weight class. If that was there, they could have made me a flyweight championship. That would have been the best option for me. But since I haven't put enough knockouts on my resume, I'm going to continue to do more so I can go ahead and do it.
Did you ever consider maybe trying to go to one of those organizations at bantamweight? Would you have done that if the opportunity presented?
No, because I want, before my last fight in the UFC, before I fought Mabib, I told them I wanted to fight at flyweight, and they're like, "Yeah, we can go ahead and get you your next fight at flyweight after this one." And then all of a sudden, it was such a surprise for me to sit there and say, "Hey, we're gonna part ways with you." And I was like, "You guys told me I get to fight at flyweight so I can make a run at that, and that's what I wanted to do." They're like, "Yeah, you're just not our fit anymore." I was like, "Why? Because my 9-2 record at flyweight isn't good enough for you guys?" Or they're like, "No." I was like, "The only person I lost to was Demetrius Johnson."
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people were surprised, whenever sort of batch of fighters that we had learned were not on the roster anymore. I think a lot of people were surprised for you. Were you at that end of your deal or anything, or was this like mid deal? They just were like split.
We just renewed. I just renewed my contract, and then they're like, "Hey, you know what? You're out." I was like, "Oh, what the hell?" I was like, "First fight in, and I'm done." Wow. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Yeah. So obviously, maybe not leaving on the best of terms. And you said, did they give you any reason? They said you didn't have enough knockouts, or were you just saying that that's maybe what you
I
thought?
just figured that I wasn't the fit anymore. Like, they wanted something like that. COVID happened. Of course, that's like a big factor in everything else that's coming through. Like, it's hard for anybody to train. Anything else is going on. But if you really think about it, like, they can get a bunch of younger fighters who are equipped who want to fight in the UFC for probably like 10, 8 new fighters with a paycheck they were paying me. So it's an easy way to go about that.
And from your stance, you always had a good relationship with them leading up to that point. It wasn't like some sort of rocky.
Yeah, I always had a good relationship with them. Anytime they need me to go do anything, I was just that guy. They're like, "Hey, do you want to go do this interview? Hey, do you want to go out to the Philippines and go promote a fight card that you're not on?" It would be perfect. So I was like, "Yeah, I can go definitely do that."
Yeah. And did you feel like there's any sort of lesson to be learned there? Like, is there anything you would tell other fighters that are that are in the UFC about that sort of thing, or?
Yeah, just keep on performing the way that you need to. Don't sit there and hesitate and think about you're trying to get a paycheck. Best paycheck to do is by winning.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, let's talk about this bare knuckle thing because it's a pretty cool fight. I think it's nice seeing, like, you know, you and Ryan were both in the UFC. Now you're fighting here, so it's not like MMA fans have to warm up to one side of the equation. Like, they know who you both are. Was this opportunity for bare knuckle contingent on them coming to Albuquerque, or were you kind of in talks with them and then they decided?
It's actually in contingent, just like I wanted to be able to do it. I didn't care if they were coming to Albuquerque or not. I said they gave me the opportunity, and I was like, hell yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And then it just so happened that Albuquerque or New Mexico was going to be a part of the card on it. So I'd rather debut here than anywhere else.
Yeah, very cool. When was the last time you competed in New Mexico? Did you ever compete in the UFC in New Mexico?
Yeah, twice in the UFC in Mexico. My last fight here in Albuquerque was like 2019 or 28. Yeah, 2019 or 2018. I knocked out Nathaniel Woods out here at the Rio Rancho card at the exact same event center.
Yeah, so obviously it's an experience. You know, when you think back on it, you're a guy that likes to fight at home. I know sometimes people say, "Oh, it's tough with tickets and there's stress of trying to perform," but you're a guy that kind of likes to thrive under that hometown environment.
Exactly, because I haven't lost out here. This is the environment that I like to go ahead and keep on proving to everybody that I'm still a monster.
Yeah, and obviously you talked about you know, you're excited to kind of compete at your weight class at flyweight. Is Ryan somebody you were kind of familiar with? I know obviously maybe you guys were at different sides of the division at different times, you know, but you guys were both around for around the same period of time. Was he somebody that you were familiar with at all?
Yeah, I'm familiar with how his style is, how he wants to fight. I just know that he is going to come out there swinging and banging. He was doing so good in the UFC, and then kept having a falling out, and he's going to continue to have a falling out with my fists putting him down to the ground.
Yeah. And so what's your future with bare knuckle? Is this like something that you see? I don't know if you're on some sort of multi-fight deal or what, but is this something that you're kind of focused on from here on out, or do you expect to switch into MMA back and forth, or kind of what's your deal going forward?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be bouncing back and forth. I'm gonna go from MMA and also bare knuckle. So I'm gonna go through this one first, making sure I can go ahead and come out this unscathed, and then we'll talk about whatever MMA fight I have up next. But right now with bare knuckle, I'm gonna focus on go ahead and taking out Ryan Benoit and do the best I can and finishing him within the shortest amount of time possible. Me and my brother have a side bet seeing who's gonna get the fastest knockout of the night.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Have you ever like taken a professional boxing fight or an amateur boxing fight? Was this something different?
I actually taken an amateur boxing fight when I actually started way back in the day, like, you know, that long time ago. We don't talk about age. It's like women type of thing. We don't talk about how old we are.
Yeah, I got you, man. Well, it's probably been a while for you to adjust to this, right? Too, like, is the training, you know, how different is the training camp? I mean, is there like the MMA stuff? Do you still do the grappling, or is it just like solely focused?
No, because I can't sit there and say I'm just solely focused on boxing. If you can come into this thing that it's a boxing match, then you're definitely going to lose this. It's a bare knuckle fight. So you're going in there making sure that you can mix up those two integrations of dirty boxing and boxing. If you come in with a mindset that you're just going to go out there and perform in a boxing match, that's what ruins the whole fight for you. You can tie up, you can clinch, you can go ahead and actually pummel with these dudes to sit there and create those openings to create more devastating shots. And that's what I want to do. I want to mix it up in different areas that nobody's seen just yet, and I'm going to do it the way that I know how to. It's flashy and extravagant.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I guess the change in the round structure, obviously 5 2-minute rounds, is a little bit different than maybe
different. It feels amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say, for a guy like you that has great cardio, I mean, is there any sort of difference in terms of your game plan or strategy coming into a fight that has shorter rounds but they're broken up?
Tell you the truth is, I can sprint for 10 minutes nonstop, and I don't have to worry about it. I'm so excited. That means these 2 minutes is gonna be held from him from round to round to round. Every 2 minutes they had to survive with me, it's gonna be more punishing, more punches that I get to go ahead and throw, and I'll accumulate more punches than I ever did in the UFC.
All right, last question, man. I think you've hinted at it throughout this, but prediction: you think you're gonna get it done inside the distance?
No, I'm thinking I'm finishing this fight. I'm going to hit him so many different times in different areas that he's going to sit there and want to quit. He's going to find a way for him to go ahead and escape out, and how he's going to bow out, and he wants to do it respectfully. So he's going to get knocked out. I don't see myself ever getting finished, and I don't ever see myself just trying to lose. I have the heart to win, and I'm going to go out and just take his and destroy him every step of the way. This is my home.
You guys heard it. Bareknuckle Fighting Championship 28, August 27th in Albuquerque, New Mexico. John, best of luck with everything going forward, man. And I'm sure we'll be chatting again before the next one.
Oh man, I hope so too. Can't wait. I'll miss you.